दीवारों दर से उतर के परछाइयां बोलती हैं। कोई नहीं बोलता जब तन्हाइयां बोलती हैं। सुनने की मोहलत मिले तो आवाज है पत्थरों में। उजड़ी हुई बस्तियों में आबादियां बोलती हैं। This is the hidden story of the heart of India, Madhya Pradesh. A state where for centuries stories of mythology, art and history have come together to fuel the imagination of men.
The history of this place goes back to a time when history itself was very fresh and time stood still. Prehistoric period is also there. You have the historic period also. And then you have it at a later ancient and medieval time. It became a very important centers. I mean, centers of temple construction.
Beauty of Madhya Pradesh history is that the monuments are still intact. They are there to tell the grand stories, the glorious past, the glorious history of Madhya Pradesh.
Gwalior is a microcosm of Indian history, and over thousands of years, almost every powerful ruler from our past has moved through this region, either taking a conquering army towards the Deccan or coming north. In their wake, they left behind a region rich in architectural and cultural heritage in the form of stunning monuments.
Entire historical array of monuments which are there, they're all done by the Indian dynasties. They tell the stories of the grand ways of building monuments and purely Indian ways of looking at architecture. So this is the peculiarity of Gwalior Chambal division.
And to bring to the world the silent stories that these majestic structures have to tell, a group of enthusiastic travelers and influencers embarked on the Times Gwalior Chambal Heritage Trail, an initiative by the Times of India in partnership with Madhya Pradesh Tourism. For 6 days, the Times Gwalior Chambal Heritage Trail travelled through the heart of India to explore its rich and colourful heritage and dive deep into the evolution of temple architecture in the region. And the experienced architect of the Heritage Trail was the renowned archaeologist Padma Shri Muhammad, who during his career overcame challenging circumstances in this region to personally work for the conservation of its architectural heritage.
Chambal River that spans over Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and also Rajasthan. Yeah. So some of the most prominent dacoits, they were from this area. They were helping a lot of poor people. But in our case, they helped us in conserving many of these monuments also, which of course is a part which is not known to many.
Times Passion Trail basically is a very right way to showcase the entire array of tourism assets of Madhya Pradesh in the right manner. We have tried to synergize the strengths of Times of India Group with MP Tourism and all the digital platforms. The earlier two editions were very, very successful. The third edition is devoted to heritage, especially related to Gwalior and Chambal region, which is very rich in Indian cultural heritage. So these editions have really been a great experience for us and have gone a long way to promote the hidden jewels of Madhya Pradesh to the outside world.
We start off our journey with regal elegance at the Taj Usha Kiran Palace in Gwalior. The inauguration of the trail saw Shri K.K. Muhammad set the tone for the journey, touching upon the region's historical aspects. He was joined by the chief guest at the inauguration, Shri Srinivasa Verma, Additional Director General of Police, Gwalior, who spoke about his own experiences of exploring Madhya Pradesh.
This place offers a wide variety of trails to keep you occupied. Madhya Pradesh tourism, they have taken an initiative which no other state has initiated so far.
The region stretching from the Chambal river to Gwalior is rich in temple architecture and in fact is home to varied styles of temple design, some almost a millennium old in their antiquity.
Delhi, you have Sultanate and Mughal architecture. Go to Agra, you have the same kind of Mughal architecture. Go to Jaipur, that is the Golden Triangle. You don't have a variety. But if you are coming to this place, you have a variety, and especially the real Mooladhara of Indian architecture, that is the temple architecture.
Our exploration of this antiquity began from the ruins of Bateshwar, an ancient Hindu temple complex in Morena.
Bateshwar means Bada Ishwar, and this Bateshwar is in Chambal area. Initially we thought that we have got 35 temples. Then as we went on clearing the forest area, it became 65, then it became 100. Then now presently we have got 200 temples at this place.
Here, nearly 200 sandstone Hindu temples built between the 8th and the 10th centuries are spread across a large area. Of these, 60 to 80 temples dedicated to Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu have been restored, while work to excavate and restore the remaining temples is underway. Today, with the efforts of Madhya Pradesh tourism, its attractions are better known and draw visitors not just from nearby Gwalior, but also from the national capital, which is just a few hours away.
We saw real-time archaeological digs which was happening. I've never seen anything like that.
The central structure of the Peravali fortress, its temple, is the first of its kind to have 3D carvings into its structure, depicting goddess Kali and the Brahma Vishnu Shiva triad and a pantheon of other Hindu gods and mythological figures. Flanked by two large stone lines as you enter the temple structure, the temple carvings are like a multi-sensory riot in stone left for us to admire centuries later. At first glance, the Chausath Yogini temple looks like the inspiration behind the structure of our old Sansad Bhavan. But as one approaches the haloed grounds, one can feel the power this enigmatic temple is known for. A 100-step climb brings you to the Chausath Yogini temple, also known as 7100 Mahadev temple, once known as a center of study for mathematics and astrology. Standing atop an isolated hill, the temple has 64 small chambers, each of which housed a Shiva Lingam, worshipped by 64 yoginis who prayed to Lord Shiva.
This is one of the place, one of the temples where you can listen a lot about woman energy.
The sacred power of this temple is such that despite being in a region prone to earthquakes, the temple building has survived natural calamities for centuries without any serious damage.
It was like really scenic and very nice to walk up the stairs. I also really liked the architecture and the layout plan of the temple.
From the divine power of the Chausath Yogini temple to a temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. Precariously stacked with stones, defying gravity, what stands of the Kakanmath temple today is said to be its inner core.
It's very precariously standing. Just remove one stone, the entire thing will come down. Almost for the last 600 years it is standing like that.
A miraculous invisible power is believed to have protected this fragile-looking temple for centuries against natural calamities and foreign invasions.
Being at Kakanmath at the time of sunset and seeing this mind-blowing, intriguing structure, this temple, I think it gave a very ethereal and a very, very fascinating feel to it.
It was a beautiful evening. The birds were chirping and there was sunset happening, a very beautiful one.
I never seen such kind of 3D structure. It was super interesting, and the way sir has he correlated with the Shiva, Parvati and all the goddess in the statues. Like he took so much passion to explain all the details over there.
We have a really good member who is telling very interesting facts about the history.
The city of Gwalior has a layered history with a royal past, majestic monuments and glorious relics. And standing atop the Gwalior hillock, flanked by the monolith statues of Jain Tirthankars, is the city's crowning glory, the mighty Gwalior fort.
From 6th century onwards, there was Mihirakula, there was a dynasty. They had ruled it for some time. And then from 6th century onwards, it went to Gurjar Pradihara. Gurjar Pradihara, now you know, it is from 8th to 10th century. And then there was a Kachapgata period also over this one. But the most important person in this dynasty, that was Man Singh Tomar.
Within the fort are some marvels of medieval architecture like the Man Singh Palace, built by Raja Man Singh Tomar, whose reign is considered to be the golden age of Gwalior. The palace walls are adorned by iconic turquoise blue ceramic tiles, mosaics of men, birds, elephants, ducks, tigers and trees that come together, paying homage to Hindu religious patterns, Rajput and Mughal architecture.
Of course, glazed tiles were brought by Muslims, but at the same time it was extensively used on this particular fort and also the fort of Lahore. So Babur had come from Uzbekistan. He had seen Samarkand. Samarkand is full of glazed tiles and other things. But when he saw this one, he has praised it like anything.
The fort is also home to the second earliest known reference of zero carved into a temple wall from a 9th century inscription. Man Singh Tomar also famously built the Gujari Mahal for his wife, Gujar Queen Mrignani. Today, Gujari Mahal has emerged as an important museum under the Directorate of Archaeology, Archives and Museums, Government of Madhya Pradesh.
There is a place near Vidisha. The name of the place is Gyaraspur. From there it has been excavated. And look at her bewitching smile. And also see her ornaments. Very beautiful ornaments. And the most important part is her dress, half revealing and half hiding.
हमने जैसे हमेशा सुना ही है, क्या कहते हैं कि शाहजहां दिल्ली रहते थे, वहीं के राजा थे, लेकिन ग्वालियर में भी इनके पैलेसेस होंगे, फोर्ट्स होंगे और उनकी एक साथ चीज़ें होंगी, वो कभी सोचा भी नहीं था.
Adorning the path leading up to the fort are monolith statues of Jain Tirthankars. 100 towering carved statues make up 5 clusters of these monuments known as the Gopachal and Siddhachal caves. These extensive caves date back to between 7th and 15th centuries, and the tallest and the most impressive of them all is the rock-cut figure of Adinath that looms over 58 feet. Unfortunately, a lot of these structures were desecrated during the reign of Babur.
कभी किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं होगा कि इतने स्टोन्स में इतनी बड़ी बड़ी मतलब जैन मूर्तियाँ होगी एंड कार्व की होगी उस टाइम पे।
Within the fort are the Sahasrabahu temples, built in 11th century. And the Telika Mandir, built between 8th and early 9th centuries, known for their architectural brilliance. Between the ancient relics that dot her landscape and the cultural impact that the Mughals left on her, the city of Gwalior emerged as the birthplace of the oldest genre of Hindustani Sangeet. The origin of the Gwalior Gharana dates back to the court of Akbar, that saw the legendary maestro Tansen perform his epic Dhrupad compositions.
So here we have got a very beautiful maqbara, and the most beautiful part of it is you have one of the finest jali works. Jali means perforated screens. Lotus has no importance in Islam, but at the same time in Hinduism, Brahma is born on lotus. But this is the influence of Hinduism on Islam.
Today Tansen lies at rest next to the tomb of his guru, Sufi saint Muhammad Ghaus. The Times Gwalior Chambal Heritage Trail offered the participants a taste of the Gwalior Gharana at the city's famed Beja Tal, with a mesmerizing performance by the students of Raja Man Singh Tomar Music and Art University.
I particularly just loved being able to see, the hand-carved stonework that was put into these temples and buildings. With Gwalior Fort, I loved the colors of the fort. That was something that actually fascinated me, seeing the blue in the palace and how that really stood out.
Metwali was my favorite because it looks like a temple in Italy, and it was like rounded shape, and to reach it you need to climb the stairs, so it was so nice.
Gwalior's most recent history took us to the memorial of India's warrior queen, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi. Built on the banks of the river she sacrificed her life at while fighting the British. And then onwards to dense forests of Shivpuri, an ancient town that served as the summer capital of the Scindia rulers of Gwalior. The famous Chhatris of Scindia dynasty are built in Mughal Maratha style of architecture, set against an elaborate Mughal garden with the striking Chhatri of Madho Rao Scindia facing his mother's Chhatri. The Scindia Chhatris perfected the art of inlay work seen in the Taj Mahal.
Here we can see this kind of pietra dura work. First work of this kind that was done in the tomb of Tumadu Daula, father of Noor Jahan. But the perfection was in Taj Mahal. Even in Taj Mahal also it is not in this profusion.
And not too far from the Scindia Chhatris, hidden in the forests of the Madhav National Park, is George Castle. George Castle was built in 1911 by Jivaji Rao Scindia with the purpose of an overnight stay for King George V. Invited on a hunting trip to Shivpuri, King George V did not make it to this castle, having already encountered and killed a tiger on his way. Being at the highest point, George Castle offers a mesmerizing view of the Jadhav Sagar, Sakhya Sagar, Madhav Sagar and the Madhav National Park that is home to leopard, nilgai, black buck and several other wild animals. The roar of the big cats can be heard here again as tigers have been recently relocated to Madhav National Park, attracting wildlife lovers to this region. About 76 kilometers from Gwalior, on the way to Datia, stand 103 Jain temples on Sonagiri Hill. Sacred to the Digambara sect of Jainism, these temples are known for their spiritual significance and architectural splendor. King Nanganak Kumar and his 15 million disciples gained moksha here, finding liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth.
All the temples devoted to all the Tirthankaras here are visually stunning, unusual architecture. I can see a Gurdwara-like structure there and a lotus temple top there.
Another revered temple is the Pitambara Peeth temple in Datia, where pilgrims offer prayers to Ma Pitambara Peeth's avatar, Baglamukhi Devi, the goddess of royalty.
One state to have so much to offer is really one of the rarest things. And we want the travelers to have a wholesome experience of Madhya Pradesh. Times of India has been very, very instrumental and creative while curating these passion trails. And the dedicated team which works months in advance to curate these trails and to organize the group of like-minded influencers and bloggers is really very, very appreciative. Madhya Pradesh is a bouquet of fascinating culture and destinations. So there's so much more to explore here, and I'm very sure our association in future will keep the audience engaged, and we will give the right kind of information to anyone who is interested in exploring Madhya Pradesh, and this partnership will definitely go from place to place.
If people come to Gwalior as a vacation, they can definitely cover some 3-4 towns around like Shivpuri, Morena, Datia.
This is the heart of India, so if you want to know this country, the best, you can come to the best place, and it's this one.
As the sun sets on our final day in the historic city of Gwalior, we took back with us a number of stories that will last a lifetime. Silent stories written in stone, stories that echo through remnants of history, stories that paint a vivid picture of a land untamed, raw and rich in legacy, a legacy that dominates Gwalior's skyline.